Okay, so let's get right into it. For as long as I can remember, we've been told that keeping ourselves safe online is, well, it's our job. But what if that whole idea is just fundamentally wrong? Today, we're looking at a huge shift in thinking from the world's top cybersecurity agencies, one that asks a really simple question. Who is truly responsible for our digital safety? And let's be absolutely clear, the stakes could not be higher. This isn't just about someone getting into your email account anymore. As this quote from the source material points out, insecure technology can have literal life or death consequences. I mean, when cyber attacks can shut down hospitals, it proves this threat has grown way beyond something you or I can fight on our own.
For decades, the playbook has been exactly the same. A company makes a product, they ship it out, and then all the responsibility to make it secure falls right onto our shoulders. We're the ones, regular people, small businesses, who are left trying to figure out this maze of complicated settings and endless updates. It's a model that just doesn't stand a chance against today's automated, massive attack.
But that's all starting to change. In what is basically a unified global voice, the most powerful cybersecurity agencies on the planet have put out new guidance to completely flip this broken model on its head. And just look at the authority behind this. We're not talking about some small think tank here. This is coming from the absolute heavyweights in the United States. We're talking the NSA and the FBI. And this isn't just an American thing either. It is a global coalition. You've got partners from the UK, Australia, Canada, Germany, the Netherlands, and New Zealand all signing on to this. This is a worldwide consensus that's demanding a totally new approach. So to really understand the solution they're proposing, we first have to get to the root of the problem. It's not just about the hackers. It's about a philosophy that basically leaves the front door wide open for them. They call it vulnerable by design. The way it's always been done is, well, it's reactive. A company rushes to get a product out the door, and security flaws are just seen as this unfortunate side effect that they'll get around to fixing later. They ship it first, and then it's up to us, the customers, to install the patches on our own time and at our own cost. And this leaves all of us with this ridiculously long and technical to-do list. We're supposed to be constantly monitoring for threats, applying a never-ending stream of updates, and somehow correctly configuring dozens of obscure settings, usually by trying to translate a hardening guide that might as well be written in another language. It's a totally unfair burden. So here's the solution. The agencies are calling for a fundamental shift, a whole new philosophy for technology that's built on two really simple, elegant, and powerful ideas. The first principle is secure by design. This just means that security is no longer some feature that gets bolted on at the very end. No, instead, it's a core goal from the very first day of development. The idea is to build products where safety is literally woven into their DNA. And the second principle is secure by default. This one's even easier. It means the product you buy is already safe the moment you turn it on. The strongest security settings are enabled automatically, right out of the box, with no extra fees or complicated setup. And this just nails the whole idea. The report uses this perfect analogy. Security shouldn't be a luxury option that you have to pay extra for. It should be a standard feature, just like seatbelts are now included in every single new car. It's just part of the deal, non-negotiable. Okay, so let's dig into that a little more. What does secure by design actually look like for the companies that are building all of our software and hardware? Well, it really comes down to a few key things. First, they have to anticipate threats. Think like a hacker to figure out how their system could be broken. Second, they need to build with safer parts, like using modern programming languages that automatically get rid of whole categories of common dangerous bugs. And finally, they have to test relentlessly with automated tools, things called SAST and DAST, to find and fix problems long before that product ever gets to us. All right, now let's look at the other side of this coin, secure by default. This is the part that we, as users, will actually get to experience. And honestly, it's a total game changer. In a secure by default world, things look very different. For starters, those ridiculously insecure default passwords like admin or password, they're just gone. Multi-factor authentication is turned on from the start. You don't have to go find it. And critical security features like logging or single sign-on, they aren't locked behind some expensive enterprise paywall. They're just included for free, for everyone. And this comparison just perfectly captures the whole shift. We go from a hardening guide, which is basically a complicated instruction manual on how to make an unsafe product safe, to a loosening guide, The product is already secure. The guide's only job is to warn you about the risks if you decide to turn those safety features off.
So this all sounds great, right? But how do we actually make it a reality? The final part of this guidance lays out a pretty clear path forward for everyone involved. For the manufacturers, the message is simple. First, you have to take ownership. Your customer's safety is your responsibility. Second, be transparent about it. Don't hide your security practices, brag about them, compete on being the safest. And finally, this has to come from the very top. Security needs to be a core business priority, not just some problem for the tech team. And this brings it right back to us. We're not powerless here. We can demand better by making security a top priority when we decide what to buy. We can start asking vendors tough questions about their security plans. By voting with our wallets, we can create a really powerful incentive for companies to finally take our safety seriously. Which leaves us with this final kind of fascinating question. If this whole movement succeeds, will we one day look back at this era of insecure by default software as just this strange, reckless time in our history, the same way we now look at the idea of selling a car without seatbelts? It's a pretty powerful thought.